Hello, Fred Ack here. Fred ACC, all one word. Okay, it's not the Reverend Freddie Love, and it's not Smooth or whatever else. It's Fred Ack. Fred ACC, all one word. Alrighty, first up, I'd like to thank you all for being here today. Fred Ack, it's Wednesday, February the 26th. It is about 8 a.m. East Coast time. Why do I put these things on here? So no one could ever come back and say, gee, Fred Ack goes on there after the thing runs, or after the stupid ball, or the horse wins the race, or whatever it might be. Got some interesting things. We've even got notes. As you know, Fred Ack is one and done. Usually there are no notes. Luckily today I don't have the background noise, the competition. A lot of good stuff for today. Today it's going to be XRP action. Action, take 3. My twisted New York City sense of humor. Okay, let's get right into all this. So it is Wednesday, February the 26th, about 8 a.m. East Coast time. XRP is down at about $2.24. As I have been preaching, I think the Bitcoin ruse may have played its course. I think that XRP not is decoupling, has decoupled. It's no longer connected to Bitcoin. Sure, low tide lowers all the boats, high tide raises all the boats. I get all that. Let's get into some of the notes here. What do we got here? Okay. Topic of action. This is one of the things that spurred me to get on here this morning and share this with you guys out there. And I thank you all for being here. It's not financial advice, just the ideas that are swirling around in Fred Ack's head. Hopefully many of you are involved with XRP, and we are going to go to a generational wealth. I've explained in some of my past postings why I believe that is going to happen. But when it comes to action, how many of you out there have actually seen, witnessed, partaked in sending money and watching how XRP or any of the other ones out there can actually change the course of people's lives? I haven't. Have any of you? Seeing is believing. I gave an analogy once out here on the guy throwing the darts, getting the bullseyes. I can get 3 bullseyes from 40 feet away. 2 out of 3 I can get. Wish I could see it. I have darts in my car. Well, that's very interesting. Goes and gets them. 40 feet away, we put a target on the wall. A bullseye the size of like a dime. Throws the first one. Boom! Right in the bullseye. Holy cow. Second one. Boom! Just misses right outside the system. Have no fear. This one's going to be right on there. 40 feet away. Boom! Right in the bullseye. For me, seeing is believing. I think when people start to see whatever becomes the modern exchange of global monetary value around the earth, that is going to change people's perspectives big time. There are so many things out there, as I alluded to yesterday. $123 trillion in U.S. currency alone, that half of it's in foreign hands. The world's wealth, currency, just in monetary fiat alone, astronomical. How much of it is in the crypto world? Very minimal. So I believe when we start to get the utility of the reasoning on why one of them becomes the go-to thing, or a bunch of them become the go-to things, you're going to see an evolution. An evolution. But today it's XRP action. Okay, let's take a peek at the notes here. I got Peter Lynch written down here. ETFs, real estate. Alrighty. I use different analogies to try to transpose things from my head over into you guys' heads. If you're new, please subscribe. Take a peek at some of the past postings. You'll find some very interesting stuff. The small band of followers that I have that have subscribed, many of you are going to find yourself in a different financial position down the road. I firmly believe that. all that being I'm bouncing around a little bit, I bought into XRP. When I did, I considered the money gone. Gone. Not concerned about it. Whatever happens, happens. So be it. My personal thinking is maybe that's the best way to get involved with it. I don't recommend putting your life savings into XRP or anything else. You put a small amount of money that you're comfortable with, that you can just forget that you own it. You're not going to worry about the waves getting shaken out. I'm sure Bitcoin up to 105,000, it had its fluctuation moments. You could go back in time, and I'm sure that they were there. Let's go back to the ETFs and Peter Lynch, how the game is played. Okay, when it comes to ETFs, they are ETF, exchange traded funds. These are legal investment instruments that you or I or anybody can invest into. You can buy, it actually trades as a stock price. There's a large amount of money that's pooled together, and it's invested in a certain specific thing that that ETF is designed for. Now, by law, what I understand of it all, and always do your homework, Fred Ack, gives you what's swirling around his head, doesn't mean that it's accurate. All the talking heads out there, you always got to do your homework. You have all your brain cells, they're all connected. Do your homework, check things out. Any comments, you can leave them below. One of my postings a couple of weeks ago, I said something about the world, the globe, the earth being round. Someone put on there, you're totally wrong, it's flat. You might be right, maybe it's flat. When it comes to the ETFs and mutual funds, they are supposed to be invested in whatever that ETF is supposed to be, whatever sector. For example, if you're investing in a real estate ETF fund and has a certain symbol to it, they're supposed to be purchasing commercial real estate or technology or whatever it might be. They're not supposed to be purchasing a large amount of an oil company just because they have some thoughts that this oil company's stock is going to do very well. If that's the case, then they open up an ETF for an oil company. So by law, that's what they're supposed to be in. Mentioned Peter Lynch. He was like the grandfather of mutual fund investing. He had a theory in one of his books many years ago that I read, and I don't remember the title of the book, but he had said that he would go out and he would take a look at what was going on out there. As an example, Chick-fil-A. You go to Chick-fil-A's, there's always a line there. Now, it might just be the one that you go to nearby you. There's a line there. So if you see Chick-fil-A's in different parts of the United States, when you're traveling and there's always a long line of people waiting to buy that product, it kind of says something about their business model. His thinking was that he wanted to go with what seemed good. And there is a little bit more to all that, which is you could have the best widget in the world, and if the management of the company is horrible, horrendous, they will hemorrhage money and they might not be as profitable as the company that makes an inferior widget. We'll go with the word of like a mousetrap, let's say. Company A makes mousetraps, they're superior to Company B's. But Company B has tremendous management that watches the bottom line, every penny coming in and going out. The management of Company A, the CEO, just squanders money. And I remember something about this from the yesteryear, that going to two different competing companies that had the same products, the first place went, the office, the CEO, has his fancy office, the mahogany table. He's got these pieces of paper that have like the gold lettering on them. To scribble something, throws it into garbage pails full of papers like that. Goes to Company B, meets the CEO of that company. He's got this dingy office. He's ripping up the mail and using the backs of envelopes as scratch paper. That's the company to invest in, because that company has the possibility to do well financially down the road. Alrighty, with all of that being said, I see we got the pool guy in the background. It's fantastic. Get my notes going. Oh, don't go away. My notes. Sorry about that. Okay. So I was saying earlier, don't overinvest, don't underinvest. Be comfortable with what you're going with. For example, you ever gone to a casino and played blackjack? You play a certain type of a hand, a certain type of a game. You have 15, the dealer has a 10, you tend to hit. You know that mathematically, if you stand on 15 against the dealer's 10, over time you're probably going to lose, maybe not that particular hand. And you're betting $5 on each hand, so the next hand you get a 16. Hit. You get a 3, you get a 10, whatever it might be. You win, you lose. Next hand, the colonel, the missus says, we got to go. You're like, oh, I got $400 left. You put that all on your hand. $400 on the little circle there. Deal the cards, you got a 15. A lot of people become hesitant. Oh, I can't take the cards, I might bust. The reality is you have to stay consistent with how you're playing the game. You're supposed to hit that hand mathematically, whether it's $400 or $5. So that's why if you invest too much money, it might start to hinder your decision making. Whereas if you have an amount that you're comfortable with, you can ride out the waves, it's not that big a deal, you're like, yeah, we'll see what happens. I personally think once you see the utility of XRP, price is going up. There's so many upside potentials, ETFs, this and that. All right, what we got over here? What I have noticed is the volume. The volume is minuscule for something with 58 billion of them out there. Billion! To have 200,000, 70,000, 6,000 and the price is moving around, it's extremely minimal. Yet I'll see on a 1 minute surge over 200,000 of them purchased, sold, purchased, someone's buying them. $2 and something, just call it $2. 250,000 of them, that's $500,000. Somebody's stepping in for those kind of monies. Is it you and me? Probably not, but all right, so there is an evolution that goes on. I got the Wright brothers written down here. The Wright brothers, they created the airplane out there, Kitty Hawk or something like that, North Carolina, South Carolina, whatever. I don't know, my geography ain't the greatest, but first airplane flying around, maybe 1904, something like that. Then things started to progress. We are so early in the infant stage of the crypto world and where it's going to go. Who knows where we will be 10, 15, 20 years from now. Still, the people that are in the XRPs, along with Fred Act, they're probably making a whole lot of money. Life-changing money. Hey, what else have we got on here? Invest. That's important stuff. Okay, so the price could be $2.24, which it is right now. It could drop down to $1.88. I don't know. I do strongly believe this much. If there's an opportunity to get involved, it's probably right about now. Because getting involved right about now, at these prices here, how much can you buy at $6, $7? I guess you could buy a lot if you got a whole lot of money. Buy a whole lot more at 37 cents. Like I got in at. Or 2 cents like many of you got in at. Okay, so can't overly let the price action really dictate what you're going to do. Owning too much could be detrimental to your financial health because if you're losing sleep at night, it's probably not worth it. You're better off having a comfortable amount of it. Forget that you own it. Just you're in it for the long haul. Generational wealth. That's what I recommend. I've seen things about the Golden Cross has occurred. There's Fibonacci's and Elliott waves. There's this, there's that. I personally just don't care. I don't think there's enough people involved with this right now to be following the Golden Cross or a support resistance level. Those things would come into play once we have a large following that are watching charts and graphs and the technicals. I don't think that's in play right now. I think it's all about the news that spurs the volume growth. I also think that there's a lot possibly going on. I'm going to try to give some different tutorials about the day trading world. If you think BlackRock is going to tip its hand about what it's doing, no. BlackRock, Fred Act, You, him, me, everybody is going to do what's best for them financially. So when BlackRock is trying to make it look like they're putting a lot of money into mining operations for Bitcoins, they're probably selling as many as they can out the back door. I don't know, that's the New York cynic in me. So you always got to be careful about what's going on. There's a game within the game. Like I started out with this posting, it's all about the action. The XRP action. I just can't wait till the twinge of utility. I don't see any of the talking heads posting anything out there like, I'm going to show you right now, I'm going to send $5,000 to my uncle in Brazil, or my cousin in Greenland, or Santa Claus in the North Pole, or wherever. That's what is going to change the game. That's the game changer. Watching the utility of XRP or whatever one becomes the go-to thing. Sun's coming up in my eyes. That's my signal. Go home and have a nice cup of hot tea. I want to thank you all for being here. I hope you subscribe. Any comments you might have, leave them down below. Touched on a couple different interesting areas. As always, Fred Act tries to bring something your way that you're not going to get from all the other talking heads. And beware of the scammers. The scammers are starting to congregate. They're flocking to XRP. And they'll always flock to whatever becomes the go-to thing. See stuff about that you can invest in this thing. The bot's going to tell me when to buy this, when to do that. Too many people are on the bots. It's not going to work. You'll have to figure out a way to play counter the bots. Alrighty, a lot of blabbling going on today. I want to thank you all for being here. Please subscribe, hit smash, do whatever to the likes button, the don't likes button, whatever it might be. May all your days be winning ones. I thank you all for being here.